right below the screen where you see the chat in the comment section, if you keep scrolling, there's an option for a hype button. You have to hit the hype button in order for us to feed the algorithm. YouTube has updated the algorithm, and they want us to highlight this new hype button. And you know how social media goes. When they roll out something new, they will torpedo what works in the past in order for the people, ourselves, the creators, to highlight something new. So when you hit the like button, go down just a little bit, scroll twice, hit the hype button. In fact, if you already hitting the like button, and the people who are the regular likers, we love you for that. But run it up.
The Rap Roundtable.
Something we don't normally talk about here on the Rap Roundtable, NBA Youngboy. Now, Mesito, to be fair, like I noticed that this kid is on tour. These are packed venues, and it's not a stadium tour, but it's an arena tour.
Mm-hmm.
And these venues are packed. I don't know if they moving people down to make it look crazy, but I see them strapping in the they fighting in the nosebleeds is packed.
They packed, bro.
By the stage, packed. The athletes, whether NBA or NFL, in the locker rooms, they playing NBA Youngboy, and they know the words. And it didn't just start. He been popping. I remember a couple years ago, the San Francisco 49ers was making their playoff run, and they had the red and gold boombox playing NBA Youngboy, playing Kodak Black, etc., etc. Then I noticed that, like, yo, he has all of this motion, but you don't see a Billboard chart. You don't see a headline. You don't even see an interview. But I'm like, wait a minute. If he's doing all of this and he's rapping, and even if the subject matter might be questionable, he's rapping and people love him. I think hip hop needs to start paying attention. We asking who gonna be the next guy. We talk the Rap Roundtable asked that question. I think the next guy is telling us right now he the next guy. I could be tripping. I don't listen to Youngboy, but the impact, the momentum makes. Let me know. Like, is Youngboy the next guy?
Let me start with a couple facts. Jov, you stated he's currently on a sold out arena tour.
NASA.
A venue's about 20,000 a show, 21,000 a show. Filling the house. Apparently making $800K per show himself. NBA Youngboy has over 100 Billboard charts of songs. NBA Youngboy has nearly 70 million sold. You know how that goes these days. certified, RIAA, units, as they call it. Pause. Somewhere in the range of the Futures and the J. Cole's. I don't, it goes every year depending on if your old albums, but he's in that range when it comes to records sold along throughout his career. NBA Youngboy is one of the few artists who said fuck you to the labels, right? Not all the labels, but to his label, Atlantic. Let's remember, in 2023, NBA Youngboy was offered a reported 25 to 30 million contract or re-up with Atlantic Records. He said, nah, I'm good. I done gave y'all enough albums and did. The newly acquired Atlantic Records by who? Lucian Grange's son, Elliot Grange, who runs Atlantic now. He said, fuck you to them. He didn't sue. He said, fuck you and left. He went to Motown. NBA Youngboy, despite having over 100 Billboard charts, has only been top 10 once. Now, let me give you some opinions. I think, NBA Youngboy might be the most authentically successful artist in rap right now. Minus Kendrick. Kendrick is performing for half the world, it seems, right now. Kendrick's concerts look like the old DMX clip right now. That's a little bit fucking crazy.
It'd be like five of them in a row.
Woodstock type
3 million people crowd surfing at the same time. I never seen no shit like that.
Crazy.
But other than that, NBA Youngboy is clearly the most authentically popular and successful artist in hip hop. He receives no radio play, virtually none. Has anybody? I think I heard one NBA Youngboy song on the radio in history. You know what I mean?
Maybe it's like 2 or 3.
Doesn't receive the playlisting these other artists receive. He doesn't receive the support from his label that these other artists receive. But still, with all of that, like you say, Jov, the kids love him, right? The athletes love him. At his shows, this is like the show right now where all the rappers convene. They've seen our boy, Harlem's own Jomo at the back of one concert. Birdman was back there at one of his concerts. Offset has been seen at his concerts. Sexy Red, all of the the artist Benny wants
the who's, yeah.
All of those artists are popping up at NBA Youngboy show. I don't know if he got a Buffalo show. Benny, pull up. So, in my opinion, NBA Youngboy, yes, he is what what the people have been asking for. The next star in hip hop, the person who is popular, not on clout, not on, because that's one thing about NBA Youngboy, right? All of these record souls and all of these platinum certifications, he don't have an album with a Little Baby feature and three Future features and a Young Thug feature and a Gunna feature. He was never that artist. He was always either rapping alongside himself, maybe a couple newer young artists. He got a really big song with the deceased Juice WRLD that was like super platinum. He got a Nicki Minaj song that went crazy. The Migos. I don't know if that even means anything anymore. He got a popular Migos song.
Yeah, that was a big record, bro.
Who has not played the industry games, so he doesn't receive the certain support. He doesn't have other fan bases latching on to him because he did a song with that guy. But he's still actually putting up the numbers, actually doing what we said, right? Because we already said, if y'all don't believe the numbers, which we said maybe you shouldn't, then believe the tickets sold, believe the concerts, believe the viral clips. If you go online and you type in NBA Youngboy concert, you will see thousands of fucking clips. I've seen people online crying because there was a big thing about the Chicago concert getting canceled because of the Little Durk issues. When I researched it, the people of Chicago were in tears, crying because Youngboy was not popping out. So yes, while a lot of people and yes, I'm not even putting this on us, right? Because we're the Rap Roundtable. We're of the cloth. Even though we cover everything, we're experts in a specific portion, right? But these mainstream people, these people who are broadcasting, looking for that type of shit, people who are aiming to kind of talk about that, y'all are ignoring the biggest artists because it's like, yeah, he's next, but is he next? There's been years where the top 3 streaming rappers or top 3 streaming, people that got streamed were like Bad Bunny, Drake, and NBA Youngboy, Jaw Cook.
You got me to thinking. This is where, we're talking about Atlantic and content creators' relationships with record labels. It's very loud that certain platforms are not talking about Youngboy. And then, when Aubrey decides to go and sue and shit, and I say before, like, it's because a lot of this shit might be rigged and certain people might have legitimate relationships. This might speak to that. Because being that he's kind of a raider, he has no affiliation to anything as far as industry goes. Those platforms who are funneled or powered by these labels, it's interesting how this shit really, you start seeing the bullshit by accident.
Right.
Because if he was signed to Atlantic, all of those platforms who are known for talking about all things mainstream would be covering this kid right now.
Yeah.
But because he's an indie, it's completely... Outside of Kendrick, what other rapper? Well, Drake, because Drake can still sell out a venue. What other rapper right now is really doing what he's doing?
Right,
Playboy.
Because when they ask,
is he?
That's a good point, Dean. It's rumored that Playboy Cardi might be canceling his tour soon. Because if you go to the Ticketmaster, there's plenty of seats available everywhere. This is research that everybody here can do on their own. Go to a Playboy Cardi concert in wherever you live and see how many empty tickets of a tour that's supposed to start, I believe, next month. So yes, all of his peers, Little Baby has had tours canceled.
Hold on, Mason. You try to tell me them 3 Kendrick verses ain't fill up the house in? What's going on, bro?
Kendrick only going to
he's not popping out to the show.
I just being an asshole, bro.
Dang, that's your top 3 ever, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
Fuck what you think. But it's like you said, it's all kind of apparent what's going on. It's like the Steph Curry thing in the NBA. Everybody on the top 5 list is from Nike, except Steph Curry, right? That's the person who they don't broadcast as the GOAT the most. You never hear Steph Curry's the GOAT, because they don't want that Under Armour. They don't give a fuck about Under Armour. That's the NBA Youngboy thing, right? He's with Motown.
Wow.
He said fuck you to the head honcho of all of this shit, music industry wise, but they can't stop what's going on for real. The people love him. That the people really love him, and that's as impressive as anything to me.
And you know what? It's funny that you mentioned the venues, because about a week or two ago we talked about some of your when we got cursed out by some people because we said that Atlanta might be losing some momentum, and we talked about some of the acts who had streaming stats, but they had to cancel tours. Meanwhile, this guy is packing. Matter of fact, and part of me, like I'm not that a Youngboy guy. So part of me, if I don't know this, I don't know if he's on tour with other people. I don't know who his opener is. Is the opener or the tour mate bringing in asses to seats as well? I have no idea, but it's not being reported. Everything I see is Youngboy.
Yeah, and they usually let you know if it's a big name artist on the tour. They usually say featuring
who's on the bill.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So he's bringing and you telling me that even if it's another person on the bill, when Little Durk was having this Little Wayne run, he couldn't pack a venue. Little Baby couldn't pack a venue.
Crazy, bro.
I don't know if 21 was packing the venue because I don't know. Has 21 did a tour yet where we can really measure this?
Not that I heard of.
Maybe from the Savage joint like
you
years ago.
Saying? A lot of these guys was not packing venues. So we cannot. And the thing is because at the end of the day, the real human element is important. Because the real human element, there's ways to measure it. Like Mace just said, people at these shows. That is how you know how popping you are. A little bit like Youngboy popping in New York. From New York to LA. People like this kid. I think does he have a New York show coming up, Mace? I'm not familiar.
He just was here.
Prudential Center.
I looked at the tickets. 200 plus, bro. I was like,
yeah, niggas traveling to Long Island to pack out a venue,
bro.
Nigga.
That's what I'm saying.
$200 plus tickets too.
Birdman and Jim Jones and all of them had pulled up too.
Not no $50 tickets, bro. It's like $200 tickets.
This is a hot tour. This is a tour that every city is waiting for. And this could kind of go under our ilk's radar, right? People who the audience. I see a couple people saying he trash. This is not necessarily a music, how good the music is.
Like
this is just, you should be aware, and there's a specific reason that we believe you aren't aware of it. You know what I mean?
And basically how whatever he's doing is working because it's resonating with the fans, which some people could take a little, little mix from and learn a little something from.
Talk about it.
Because you know what? As crazy as it sounds, and see, I didn't want to get back here where I'm kicking back because I've said enough about Benny the Butcher, and the thing is, I don't want to sour the relationship because we actually love
Benny, bro.
Our issue with Benny because we love this guy.
Seeing him like this is killing me though.
Right. I don't know. Has Griselda done a stadium? They could pack out a venue.
Bro, they damn sure could.
They could pack out an amphitheater, but can they pack out an arena?
Stove,
Nationwide?
Conway, West.
Nationwide?
If they all went on tour?
That, especially where Stove is at right now, I think they could do something dangerous, bro.
Just like you said, it's Kendrick, it's Drake, and it's legacy acts, right? It's artists like Nas could pack out a stadium or arena tour, right? People will pull up. Yeah. 50 Cent recently sold out an arena tour, right? It's people we've been listening to since we was kids. But his peers, you know what I mean? The Polo G's, the A Boogies, the Rod Waves. Rod Wave is currently being sued by Live Nation for like plus 20 million for not fulfilling the tour obligations. People who sell or a lot more records do a lot higher first weeks, but Youngboy is the one putting the people in the seats, putting the numbers on the board.
All right, go ahead, Sam. My question is as either the old head at the table. Let's say I go to an NBA Youngboy show. What's the song that I'm waiting for the crowd reaction?
Nevada. What's for me? Shout out to Tone the Dome.
Because I need to know.
That's the thing, but because he's not necessarily a radio star, because you're right. You know what I mean? Me personally, I think my favorite Youngboy song is "Rich as Hell." You know what I mean? I don't know if that's a song he'll play on the tour. But he's an artist who has a bunch of. It might be 10 songs that everybody goes crazy for that we've never heard. You know what I mean? Because his audience is a type of audience that doesn't find music in the same ways we found it traditionally. You know what I'm saying? So
the album Sincerely Control will have a few.
You know what I mean? We know, right? We know Humble is the poppin' Kendrick song because Humble is being played in the places everywhere that we know how to find the music or that we would listen to the music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the poppin' Youngboy song is some YouTube song with like 300 million views that never came across our algorithm, you know, that the label never, you know, was playlisting at the top of the playlist and putting, you know, on billboards and shit like that. That's the thing. He's largely a non-promoted artist that's doing these numbers. That's crazy to me.
That's interesting because at the end of the day, whether he's lyrically inclined or not, that's not even the conversation here. Because again, everybody not gonna be lyrical schmurgle. But when I do hear a Youngboy song, you know what I'll say? Even if he does do melodic things from time to time, he's not a mumbler. He has clear lyrics. He has a subject and a predicate, and I'm okay with that. Like, will it be on my phone? Will you hear me bumping? Nah, that's not my cup of tea. But I don't feel disrespected. I don't feel he's disrespecting hip hop or rap with his music like some other guys who are getting paid to do it. I think he actually gives a fuck about making quality music. And I think when New Yorkers get to talking about other artists in other cities, they miss that our real crux of the argument is we feel like a lot of these guys don't value the art form and they just using it to get paid. And I don't get that vibe from a Youngboy when he makes his music. Is it, again, the subject matter might be a little too much for me and my sentimentalities? Possibly. But I do feel like he cares. Mike H says I feel the same about 21. That's what I'm saying. That's why I always gave 21 a pass, because I feel like 21 cares, and I heard to me 21, listen to what I'm saying, not the same artist as Jeezy, but I feel like he's on the Jeezy track where he's trying to get better. We heard from 101 through the recession, we heard Jeezy improve as a lyricist, improve as a song maker, beat selector, etc. If you hear the first 21 project to now, he's improved year over year. I look at Youngboy as a guy who cares. I won't name the guys that I think don't care, but that's why New York niggas get mad, because we, like, when niggas is snapping and whispering and making jingles and saying, I bet you can't do it like me, we get mad because it's like, that's not art. That's a money grab. And we got mad about that. But we didn't, to us, we didn't articulate that well. We just said, fuck out of here. This shit is garbage. When we should have said, these guys don't give a fuck about the culture, and that's why we're upset.
You right? have to read between the New York lines.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean? I give him that blight. And again, I like to know what's going on. And the women like Youngboy, it ain't just a bunch of dirty niggas. It's the women.
They love him.
And the men. They all love him. And if he ever decides to put pen to paper on any label, or he decides to play the radio game or connect with a company and do independent and get with Rock Nation and figure some things out, he will be a juggernaut in this shit. Because he's already checking the box. This tour right here is him letting the business world of music know that I'm him.
Yeah.
And if you want to get in bed with me, there's a certain number that I'm looking for. And it's not 30 million. It's not a quote slave deal where you get the 360. He's calling his shot with this tour. And I think that we're gonna see some major things with this kid, and we're gonna have to get comfortable with him being in certain conversations. Because again, there's only a handful of niggas packing out 20,000 seaters nationwide. Not in the South. He's not a regional act. Nah. He's going nationwide packing venues. We cannot ignore that anymore. He has real humans. The 300 views on YouTube were not bad.
And look,
it's a parade inside my city. Yeah.
And to be completely transparent, like, this isn't the first time that we've had the NBA Youngboy conversation.
Like
2-3 years ago. Yeah, I mean, the first time that he
was cooking them too.
The who's next question.
Right. We cooked them.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a different story now. Mace, you said Rich Forever, Dini. What's the joint you said?
Nevada. I forgot the name of the joint that goes that starts off. There's a parade inside my city. I'm sure Mace knows that joint, but that was a big record. That was getting played everywhere, especially like when people won championships and shit. They just kept running the parade inside my city and shit.
Turn in the chat said that Shot Calling is currently the #1 song on Apple Music. So I guess that's a newer track, you know.
Need It with Migos was big. Outside was a big record from him. He got some joints, bro.
B's the Dream says, that's how you know niggas is old and they don't realize what they're saying. B's the Dream says that, let me put it up here. A lot of YB fans were born in like 04, 05. Y'all got to consider that. Yeah, they're 21. They're
kids,
adults.
Bro. Right.
But they're adults.
Yeah.
And they're spending their money on
adults.
this artist.
But
that's 20 years ago. As crazy as it sounds.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we were doing the same thing at 14, 15, running to the fucking CD store with our bread.
Again, you know I put on 36 Chambers in my youth and I got yelled at in my house. The cycle always repeats.
It continues.
Now I'm yelling at niggas listening to Yachty and Youngboy. I am my parents. You know what I'm saying? But at least Yachty, I have a right to be mad about Yachty. He's absolute garbage in every way possible. Youngboy making real music. And yes, we cooked him in the past. But if again, who are we to cook a nigga packing out a 20,000 seater nationwide? Lil Yachty not even doing that.
He opened it for Tyler.
Sheesh.
And he, you know,
I
and
would
these
know.
are people that standing next to the clout. Remember that NBA Youngboy standing on his own.
Super rough. I mean, the first half of the night.
Yeah.
Rough. But anyway,
Tyler did his thing.
I think we can wrap it up here. This was a good build. We covered all our bases.
Yes, sir.
We talked a little only podcast that's talking about Benny the Butcher, Mobb Deep, and NBA Youngboy. Find the podcast doing that. I dare you.